Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here. It is March the 29th, 2022. I am going to talk about the Clippers. And why am I going to talk about the Clippers? Not because nobody else talks about them, but the media just surrounds themselves with like the the Nets, the Lakers, the Sixers, the Bucks kind of thing. But I keep telling you guys that it's coming. So, and by what I mean by that is Paul George. Now, Paul George is set to play tonight unless Ty Lue just backs out and says no. But he has been practicing, and there is a strong possibility he plays tonight. Very good for Clipper fans out there. And they will look to avenge the Utah Jazz, and they will look to beat the Utah Jazz. I think they will, just because of the fact that Paul George he's a phenomenal athlete and a very good defender, and the way he was playing before he got injured was insane. Check it out.
Has kept PG out ever since. However, in the last few days, there's been more of a glimmer of hope, maybe even more than a glimmer, that Paul George could return to the court this season. So now I want to bring in our Clippers reporter, Om Young-Misuk. And Om, Paul George's return, it could have massive implications for the Clippers, who currently sit at 8th in the West. So how close is Paul George to making his return?
Malika, I'm told Paul George is going to suit up and play tonight, barring him feeling something off with his shooting elbow after practicing for the last 2 days. Now, he was cleared to practice in 5-on-5 with with contact, no restrictions on Sunday. And yesterday he did the same thing, and he scrimmaged. And look, he has made quite the progression over the last month. He was seen right before the All-Star break still shooting left-handed. And now, yesterday, he was in practice, seen on video, throwing a behind-the-back pass with his right elbow. It looks like old Paul George is almost back, and we should see him tonight, barring him feeling anything wrong after the last 2 days of practice. And this is what the Clippers are hoping to do, is that they hope to ramp up Paul George for the play-in for the remainder of the season, and they might also get even more reinforcements because Norman Powell has been shooting on the court with the team, and I'm told that they hope to have him within the next 7 to 10 days practicing and perhaps back with the team.
Interesting. It always is how you come through that initial workout, that especially those 5-on-5, the full court types of practice, how they come through the night, the next day, how they're feeling. But, likely to play tonight, you're reporting. So we have you here. I have to ask you, Kawhi Leonard, he underwent surgery to repair a partial tear on his right ACL in July, on July 13th. So is there any update on when we might see Kawhi back on the court?
There is no update on Kawhi Leonard. Now, we have not seen him since he was on the floor in Golden State when Kendra shot him on video pregame before the Clippers played the Warriors, working out up there in Golden State. Look, he from everything I've heard, he looks good. He is fit. But we have to remember something. He tore his ACL on June 14th in Game 4 against the Utah Jazz. He had surgery a month later. He pretty much is about 9 months removed from that surgery. So this is a power player. We can't forget that. He's meticulous and methodical of the way he plays, the way he works out, the way he rehabs. So I think the Clippers are going to continue to pretty much be careful with Kawhi Leonard, and I'm sure Kawhi is going to do the same thing. But listen, if they're in the playoffs, Paul George is back, Norm Powell is back, and let's say they play Memphis, and I don't know, Kawhi's feeling good. We'll have to see. Ty Lue left the door open for him and said that if he's medically cleared to go, he'll return.
Don't tempt Big Perk with a Memphis matchup there. Thank you so much. We will see you in Crypto.com Arena later tonight. So I want to come back with JJ Perk and Chiney here. Given what we just heard from Om, if Paul George returns, and again, Om is reporting that it's likely, barring a setback, given how hard he worked out in the last couple of days, how he comes through the night, how dangerous does his presence make this Clippers team? Chiney, I'll start with you.
I think we're talking about doors being open. I think the door is open for the Clippers to make noise this this postseason, because you think about the Lakers and how they're trending downward. It looks like the Clippers, and we're both right here sitting in the city of Los Angeles with this news with Paul George. They look like they could be trending upward. Play-in, they're locked in at that 8th seed, because I think it's about 6 losses between them and moving up. This is exciting for them because we know that championship is their goal. They want to, again, exert their influence and box out kind of their own territory here in Los Angeles. And they have an opportunity to build some real momentum that can help them, likely when Kawhi Leonard potentially comes back next year. So they can say, we've been battle tested. We got PG back. We've got Reggie playing great basketball. We've got Norm, who I think in 3 games, put up 20 points per game and looked really good. We've got all these pieces. We built that chemistry. We came in the play-in. We learned how to play more confidently and shook off some of those ghosts of the past. And now next season, we are real contenders when we're at full strength and healthy. This is very exciting for Clippers fans.
What do you think, Big Perk?
I'm with Shanae. I mean, first, let me give flowers to Paul George for even coming back, right? He didn't have to come back. But look, just think about what Reggie Jackson and Paul George did in the postseason last year together when Kawhi went out. One could say that they was a top 3 duo in the league while they were playing on the floor together. They were giving people problems. So, yes, the Clippers can be a handful if they get in the playoffs and be a hard first-round exit. I agree.
How much of a handful do you think they'll be, JJ?
They'll be a handful. There's no question. They were able to close out the Jazz last year after Kawhi got hurt. They had a competitive Western Conference Finals against the Suns without Kawhi. This certainly increases their chances to secure an actual playoff spot and win one of the games in the play-in and make some noise in the playoffs. Paul George has proven to be a top 10, top 15 player in this league. Norman Powell is another great addition that they made along with Robert Covington near the trade deadline. This team has some juice, and Perk knows this. You need great coaching in the playoffs. You need a great game plan. You need great adjustments. Ty Lue has proven to be one of the 2 best coaches in the NBA right now.
The time to take the Clippers serious is now, because what they said was if the Clippers make it out of the play-in tournament, which they will, come on, they're definitely going to play in the play-in tournament, and they're definitely going to come out. Guess who's coming back? It's Kawhi Leonard. So I know the Phoenix Suns are on an absolute juggernaut of a season. They're on a roll, 100%. Memphis is crazy this year. Let's not forget that. Memphis is just insanely good. Warriors, they're good when they have Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. But the chances of Curry coming back before the playoffs is pretty slim. So just putting it out there, Clippers, they have a strong chance to at least make it out of the play-in tournament, if not more. And I think it is, if not more, because the way they were playing prior to, I think it was January, February, that was their strongest months without their stars. And it's been known, publicized for quite some time. Unfortunately, you got to dig for it. But it's pretty much out there saying that the Clippers will actually get Paul George back, which is tonight. He's been practicing 5-on-5, and as you saw from the clip last week, he has been practicing, and he is set to play tonight against the Utah Jazz. And again, if they make it out of the play-in tournament, which they will, Kawhi's coming back. Jag from Jaggy Sports.